Hey guys, welcome to a new video. So I have not done a sit down video in very long, and so I thought, you know what, it's finally the time to make another one. So in this video I kind of just wanted to talk about like how I chose what university I wanted to go to, why I chose U of T specifically, and what I wish I knew before I attended. I know for a fact that when I was in grade 12 I was stressing way harder than I should have about like university decisions and stuff, and like yeah, it's really important, but at the time I felt like I was literally deciding the course of my entire life. And if you're in a position right now where like you're trying to choose what to do, like, oh my god, please don't think you're deciding your entire life, because you're really not. And I am here to tell you why. I really hope by the end of this video I help at least one person, because even if I at least help one person, I'll be like, you know what, like, it's a job well done. But yeah, also I literally like wrote down notes so I don't get off track. So if you see me like looking down, that's what I'm looking at. So first I'm gonna tell you guys like why I chose to go to U of T, like how I chose what college to go to. And I'm also gonna tell you how I chose both of my majors, which is sociology and contemporary Asian studies. So actually when I was in grade 12, I didn't even know what subject I wanted to go into. Like when I tell you I was lost, I mean, I was so incredibly lost. I had no idea what school I wanted to go to, no idea what program I wanted to do. So I was like, how do I make any decisions? But all I know is that in high school I was really into drama and like the social sciences / humanities, and so I basically applied to like Ryerson, U of T, and York, all for drama. And so I remember I had to like send in or go for like an audition and stuff. And then in York I also applied for psychology, and then for Ryerson I also applied for undeclared arts. And here's the thing, like I absolutely love drama, like I still love it to this day, but I think I just kind of decided like it's not something I wanted to study, because I just thought like if I do this in school and like I study it and I'm in classes all day doing it, like I'm actually going to end up hating it, and I really didn't want that to happen. And the thing with acting is that like you can kind of keep it as like a side thing or like a hobby if you want, and that's really more of what I wanted. I remember being on Ryerson's website and I was kind of going through the information for undeclared arts and seeing like the courses and stuff I could take and what I could potentially major in, and that to me seemed a lot more interesting than just going into drama. And so yeah, like literally by just like researching what courses and stuff I could take, I could like feel myself getting excited. I was like, oh my god, no, like this is what I want to study, like this is what I want to do. And you know what, like if I'm not feeling the same later, like I can always switch. And so I remember I actually initially accepted my offer into Ryerson for undeclared arts, and I think I did this like in May or something. And like yeah, I told like all my friends and family, I was like,
yeah, so like I accepted Ryerson, so like that's where I'm gonna be going.
But I mentioned previously that I actually like did drama auditions for like a couple universities, and one of them was U of T. Like the only thing I applied for at U of T was drama. But after a couple of weeks I was like, you know what, I don't want to go to U of T for drama. Like I just thought like I'm just not gonna enjoy it, and so I never created an audition, I never went for an audition, nothing. So I was just kind of like, okay, like not going to U of T, not even an option, because like I didn't even like make an audition or anything. I remember there was only like a couple days left to choose like what university you wanted to go to, but like I had already chosen Ryerson. But then, major plot twist, I get this email from U of T saying that I've been accepted like into their humanities program. And I remember being so confused because I was like, what? Like how's that even possible? Like I didn't even like do an audition or anything. But that's the thing about U of T, it's not like you get accepted into a specific program into your first year. Basically everyone is undeclared in their first year. It's only your second year where you kind of like go into your specific major. And yeah, I literally didn't know that, but then like that's how I got accepted into U of T humanities. And then I remember going through like U of T's like course list and like the different types of like programs and everything that they had, and I was like, oh my god, this kind of seems a lot more appealing to me than Ryerson. And so yeah, I'm not kidding, I think literally within 2 hours I switched. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna like back out of my Ryerson offer and then I'm gonna accept U of T instead. And that is exactly what I did. And I have to say, I went a lot with my instincts when I was kind of like figuring everything out. Like I just kind of went with like what felt right for me. Like personally for me, like obviously friends and family, they're gonna try to help you, but at the end of the day, it's like you're the only one who knows what you want and like what's gonna make you happy. And so I remember doing the research made me feel a lot better. Like I loved like going through different course lists. I love seeing what programs I could potentially get into. I love seeing what potential jobs I could get if I studied like something in specific. And so yeah, that like really helped me choose like what I wanted to do. And I'm not gonna lie, to this day have not regretted my decision at all. So yeah, like if you're in grade 12 or like you're trying to choose what to study or where to study, like please don't be like way overly stressed about it, because first of all, like if you do end up studying something you don't like, you can switch. You are not stuck in your major. Like you can switch, you can figure out if you want to do like another minor, major, whatever combination you want to do. And also you can switch schools too. Like I know it's obviously a lot easier said than done, but I have like quite a few friends who have switched schools, and I have a lot of friends who have switched majors. Even I switched my major at one point, which like I will talk about in a little bit. It really wasn't a big switch at all. Like basically when I was in my first year, like at U of T, you have to have either one specialist or 2 majors, or 1 major, 2 minors. That's like the main route that people go through. And so for me, I think I was thinking of being an East Asian specialist at first. And so I remember like taking the classes and everything, and I was like, this is interesting, but it's not quite what I want. Like something was just off. I was like, no, there's just like something missing here. And so later on, I basically switched into contemporary Asian studies, which I had always been thinking of at least taking like a course in to like see how it would be. But yeah, literally as soon as I took a class, I was like, this is what I want to major in actually, just because it was less history based, and also we focused on like different parts of Asia, not just East Asia, and I just really liked that, because this way I was also able to learn a little bit more about like my home country, India, and like it was interesting to see how like it connected with like the rest of Asia and everything. And so yeah, it was just like a much better choice for me personally. But with that being said, I couldn't be a specialist. I could only do a major, so that meant I either had to come up with 2 other minors or do another major. And basically for sociology, I just remember in high school taking this one class that I absolutely loved, and it was basically a sociology class. So I was like, you know what, like I'm gonna take a course in first year, see how it is. And so I ended up taking a class, and I was like, you know what, like I actually really like this. And yeah, I had to catch up a little bit with the prerequisites, and so I took a summer school class, and then the next year in second year I basically applied to my sociology major. Like that is one major that you have to be accepted into based on your grades and stuff. And for my other major, contemporary Asian studies, I didn't have to apply to that. Like you just automatically get accepted. And yeah, that is basically how I chose like both of my majors. So literally before even coming to U of T, I had no idea I would have been doing a double major in sociology and Asian studies, but that's where I ended up. And I honestly have to say I absolutely love both of my majors. Like they're both really interesting. I love the courses. And yeah, that's basically the story of like how I chose U of T and how I chose both of my majors. Okay, so now real quick, I'm just gonna tell you guys some quick things that I wish that I knew before coming to U of T. Okay, so number one, like I obviously have to talk about this, the workload and like how hard it is. Before coming to U of T, I think I had only heard like 1 or 2 times like how hard it is and stuff. And yeah, it is true, like everyone says it, but I don't know, like really if you think about it, no matter what school you go to, it's not gonna be like just completely easy and like a breeze, you know, like you're gonna have to put the work into it. So like no matter what school you go to, it's gonna be kind of hard. That being said, for me personally, my older brother actually also went to U of T, and so I remember like asking him about the workload because I was worried about it, and I was like, oh my god, like everyone says it's so hard, like is it true? And then my brother was like, yeah, it's true, but like he kind of knew like my study habits and stuff, and he was like, you're gonna be fine, like literally just keep up with the work and like you're good. And obviously sometimes it's like not as easy as that because it can get like really overwhelming and stuff. He was like, for real, just do your best and like plan things out and like you'll be fine. And honestly, he was right. Like I'm fine. You can also choose to take like a lesser course load if you're just starting out. You can like split your courses between like the summer and like the regular semester. Like it's really up to you. So it's not like set in stone, like, okay, this is the amount of work you're gonna have in a semester. Like you can kind of like switch it up a little bit if that's what you need to do. I've done it. Personally, last semester, I did take a lesser course load just because I just was not feeling it. I think I was really burnt out just from like events of like the pandemic and stuff. And so I was like, I really need like a little bit more breathing room this semester. And so that's exactly what I did. And no regrets. Like, it was what I needed. Okay, next, this might be kind of obvious to some people, but it was not as obvious to me. But like when you're in high school, it's kind of a very rigid structure, and there's like a lot of people telling you like, oh, like you need this and this and this to make sure like you graduate high school, right? Like they make sure that you take whatever is like required. But like when you're in university, like you completely plan out your own schedule, and so you have to make sure that you are taking the courses that's like required of you. So again, this just requires doing the research. So for me, I literally just go on like the sociology page at U of T, and then I just see like, okay, this is required, this is required. So then I just like make a list of all the courses I need to take and like the year I should probably take it in. And yeah, I literally just check it off as it goes by, just so like I know I'm like on track and everything. So yeah, be careful of that, because no one is really gonna reach out to you and be like, oh, like you didn't take this course which is required for you to graduate. Like that's on you. Like you need to make sure you're doing that. And I think I've mentioned this in another video before, but this goes for like choosing your classes in person. All 3 U of T campuses are in the GTA, and guess what? It gets super cold here, okay? Like the winters are no joke. And so in the winter, you need to walk between classes. And so when you are planning out like your course schedule, if you have 2 classes, like one right after the other, you need to make sure you actually have the time to like walk and get to that other building, because sometimes it can take a while and you might always end up being late, and it could be a real problem if you have like a midterm or something. So yeah, you might want to be careful of that. And obviously in the winter, when it is snowing a lot, it is very, very hard to walk across campus. Like it'll take you like 10 minutes longer. Just something to be kind of mindful of. And lastly, I do know this is also talked about a lot, but the mental health service like at U of T. So personally, this is just like the general thing that I have heard. So basically, if you already have like a professional diagnosis, like I know one of my friends has been like professionally diagnosed with like bipolar disorder, and so for her, this like the mental health services that she uses at U of T has been really helpful, and she's managed to get appointments and everything like very quickly because she already has been diagnosed. But for my friends who have not had any professional diagnosis, I know one of them has literally had to wait up to like a year. Like that's what she told me. And so I just think that's like absolutely crazy, because why do you need an official diagnosis to get help for your mental health? Like it doesn't really make sense. And like these days, I have noticed they sent like a lot of emails with like links and stuff, but I don't really know how much of that is like actually helpful. I'm sorry, I can't really be like more helpful with this because I personally don't really have experience with the mental health support system at U of T. And so yeah, I feel like I can't really offer any like really valuable advice. And yeah, I think that's basically it for this video. I mean, like I'm looking at my notes and like I think I've gone over everything I wanted to say. I feel like in this video, I mainly just talked about how I chose what university I wanted to go to, but to be honest, like I have to say grade 12 was one of like the most stressful times of my entire life, and a huge part of that was because of like the university decision making thing going on. Like I literally could not spend a day where I just wasn't freaking out about it. And so yeah, I just really hope this video could have helped someone. Like please don't think you're deciding your whole life, because I really promise you're not. And yeah, with that being said, I genuinely think that is everything I wanted to talk about today. So yeah, I really hope this video was helpful to at least one of you out there. If you have any questions or anything, I mean, like you can comment them, you can DM me. I have all of my socials linked in the description below, so yeah, hit me up if you have any questions. And yeah, I will see you guys whenever I make my next video. Bye!